Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? It's Saturday, July 5th. We're at the garden and we're doing some weeding. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. Some of the beds are better than others. The carrot bed had almost no weeds in it, surprisingly. I don't know how that happened. The onion bed wasn't too bad, considering. And then there's the leek bed. You guys want to see what this looks like? So there's the onions. They just got weeded. You can see all the weeds in there. Onions do not tolerate weed pressure. So if you're gonna concentrate on keeping certain beds weeded, guys, keep your onion bed weeded. And then here's the carrot bed. They're coming. It's a little thinner than I'd hoped, a little sparser than I'd hoped, but it is what it is. Wasn't really that much weeds that came out of there, just a couple of little tiny things. So that was good, because I don't want to spend all day weeding. I just spent 3.5 hours working on my tomatoes. But here's the problem. This is my leek bed. And we have things like this thistle growing in here. And I have to weed this right down to bare dirt because it's choking out my leeks. Yeah, this is gonna suck. So when I'm weeding a bed, what I'll do is I'll start at one end and I'll just work my way straight through, and I pull out everything, even little ones like that. Because if you don't pull that out today, 2 weeks from now, that's going to be a big plant, right? And it's easier to pull them out when they're small than when they're bigger, because when they get bigger, they get a bigger root system, and the bigger root system means they're harder to pull. Things like crabgrass, right? Like that, the roots are rhizome based. Hold on, bottom of my tripod is jamming me up here. All right. And it's always good to know what you're pulling as you're pulling your weeds. See, this is lamb's quarters, right? This is edible. You can eat this. It tastes like spinach. And then we have, that's pigweed. So it's also handy to know what you're pulling, because some plants will have a deeper root system than others. And so some plants you just can't grab and just rip out of the ground, because you'll actually pull out the plants right next to it. So when I'm weeding, so a little bit of background, I've basically had 4 jobs my whole life. Worked in kitchens for a bit, and then I spent years and years landscaping. And part of the job of landscaping is weeding garden beds, right? Consumer or commercial landscaping. So when I'm weeding, I don't grab up here. When you're weeding, grab them right at the soil, okay, and pull. And if you get a lot of tension, wiggle it around. The goal of weeding is not to remove what you see above the ground. Well, obviously it is, but your main goal when you're weeding should be to remove the entire root system of that plant. See? That's the goal. Rip all those weeds out, because some plants, especially grasses, if you only pull out what you see on the surface, within a matter of days, you will end up with grass growing again, especially crabgrass like this. So like I said, I don't just grab handfuls and pull it out, because then everything will just break off at the ground. So grab it at the ground. I basically just pinch it. Give it a little tug. Sometimes you got to give it a little wiggle and pull it out. And if you get a lot of tension, just slow down on how fast you're pulling it, and you'll feel all the little rootlets under the ground releasing. See? If I would have just grabbed and tore that, I wouldn't have gotten that root ball out. And trust me, when you have to spend 12 hours a day weeding garden beds, the last thing you want to do is create more of a problem for the following week when you come back. So take your time when you're weeding and get all those roots and be as thorough as possible. Because a lot of plants, like for example, with your lamb's quarters, right? If you get those roots out, that lamb's quarters is not going to grow back. If you just break it off at the ground, it is absolutely coming back. See, I didn't want that. That one just snapped on me. See? Get your roots. And certain plants, you know, you're going to be fighting them all year. That's just kind of the way it goes. See? See, now this one is not going to come back. And if you have gardens at your house, right? I'm in a community garden here, so it's weeding is basically essential because of how the gardens are planted and tilled in the springtime. But if you have a garden in your backyard and you have invasive weeds, if you stay on top of those weeds and you pick them as soon as they grow, see, like this crabgrass here, for example, underneath the ground are going to be roots. And looks like I got most of them. But let's say I left just a couple of these roots underground. This grass will grow back, guaranteed 100%. So that is why it is really important when you're weeding, because no one likes weeding, let's face it, right? So when you're weeding, the goal should not be to just remove what you see above the ground. It should be what's below the ground as well. So you see, nothing left. Absolutely nothing. Not one little itty bitty, like even this, even that's coming out. Because 2 weeks from now, you know, that'll be an 8-inch grass. That's another reason why I've got geotextile down here. Because because you guys know I work a lot, and if I could only come to the garden one day a week, let's say one Saturday every week, do I really want to spend my entire time weeding? Or am I better served by being able to just come and work on the garden, you know, tying stuff up and watering and fertilizing and so forth, instead of weeding? Absolutely. So geotextile it's a game changer when you're gardening, because you don't have to weed anything underneath it. You may have some plants that somewhat grow underneath it and you'll feel it, right? See, it'll push your geotextile up, but it doesn't matter because they're not coming through. And without sunlight, oh, here's another thing. So we have a thistle here, okay? And these suckers are mean. Don't fuck around with these things without gloves on. They suck. So right here at the ground, okay? Right there at the ground, that's where you grab it. Pinch, I like to put my hand upside down, okay? Pinch and pull straight and slow and hard. They have a long taproot, look. Look how long that is. And did I break it? Yeah, see? I broke it right at the very end, but you can't see it's jiggling. I broke it at the end, so this thistle is gonna grow back. But look how long that root is. So I just got to, I'm doing okay. I got about 4 feet done in 10 minutes or so. So that's it to weeding. So grab it by the ground, grab it by right at the soil, and pull slowly but firmly out. Sometimes you need to give it a little bit of a shake, but make sure you pull those roots out, because like I said, most plants, if you get that root out, that plant is not coming back, right? I mean, it may blow seeds because I'm in a field, right? I mean, look at all the seeds out here. So I'll probably end up having more pigweed and stuff growing in here, but not from the root systems from the ones I've ripped out. Just little tips for weeding, guys, because I know a lot of us really don't want to have to weed, and when it's time to weed, it sucks, right? And you kind of settle in, oh, I gotta go weed the garden. But if you do it in certain ways, use some of those tips I just showed you, you will drastically reduce your weed pressure. And if you have a home garden, the more you stay on top of your weeds, every year you will have less and less weeds, to the point where your weed pressure is very minimal. Another amazing way to, like, essentially basically stop weeds in their tracks is to put mulch down. I have no mulch in the garden yet, but I do have a thick layer of mushroom compost that helps with the weeds. But straw is a really good mulch. I prefer straw. Some people like wood chips, pine shavings. There's actually a guy over there. Let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, hang on. You see that right in the middle? That thing looks like a big brown bag. That person is actually using wool. You can see it on the, oh, you can't really see it here. A little bit. You see all that white stuff? He's putting wool on his garden. I wouldn't, but you know, to each their own. And if it cuts down on his weeding, well, good for him. So I figured I would show you guys the final product here. There we go. Weed free. They were choking out my leeks. Now they can grow better. Awesome. Have a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope some of these tips help, and keep growing your food. It's really fucking important, especially right now. Be ungovernable, grow good food, smash that subscribe button, give me a big thumbs up. Have an awesome fucking day. See ya.